Hello, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to you, you thirsty bunch of beer drinkers, whenever and wherever you're tuning in from. Thanks for pressing play and supporting a Canadian podcast. I'm Troy Birch with Great Lakes, Ontario's local brewery, a fiercely independent craft brewery based in Etobicoke who brings you this here Between Two Fermenters, the podcast where craft beer and conversation collide, straight from the tanks to your ears. And welcome back. It's been a couple weeks. I hope you enjoyed the last episode with Emma Hambrock of Fairweather Brewing. Excellent conversations. I learned a lot of new things about that brewery and about Emma. And if you haven't checked it out yet, it's right under this one. Go grab a Donna Pilsner and check that one out. The Ontario Craft Brewers Conference, it took place last week, or a week and a bit ago now, and it always leaves me feeling energized. The sessions, the networking, the catching up with suppliers over a beer it's always so meaningful. And our industry right now really could use that little, shot of adrenaline. The industry's so full of talented individuals who care deeply about building great things and sharing that knowledge with others. And it reminds me every time I'm there, I'm really proud to get the opportunity to be part of something so special. Okay, though, let's get to today's episode. Today on the pod, I'm sitting down with someone I've had the pleasure of tipping a few back with for many years, and someone I've worked very closely with on various committees, and over that time, we've built not just a great working relationship, but a pretty solid friendship too. Brad Clifford, the owner and founder of Clifford Brewing in Hamilton, Ontario, joins the show for the first time. He's one of Ontario's most respected brewers, the man behind one of the province's most award-winning breweries, and if you've ever stepped foot inside Clifford Brewing in the Hammer, there's about a 99% chance that you've met him because, well, the dude's always there. He cares deeply about his beer, his business, and the community he's built around it and loves connecting with those that share in his passion. But Brad doesn't just keep his head down in the brew house. No, the man gets involved, whether it's sitting on the OCB board of directors, helping shape our annual conference, or lending his expertise through the various homebrewing communities that he's part of. He's the kind of guy who gives back to the industry that gave him his start. He's a brewer's brewer, methodical, precise, and focused on doing the basics right, not chasing hype or trends. And that approach has earned him immense respect across Ontario's craft beer scene. Clifford Porter, anyone? We're going to dig into all that, from his early homebrewing days to Clifford's growth, the Hamilton beer scene, and what's next for one of the province's most consistent and community-driven breweries. So buckle up, grab a fresh one, like I'm trying to here, and let's get right at it. Hang tight. We'll be right back with the Brad Clifford.
It's Great Lakes Brewery, a fiercely independent craft brewery. We believe in supporting communities, good times, and brewing amazing beer. It's Great Lakes Brewery. Order online for free local home delivery. In the GTA, good times and amazing beer. That's GLB.
Yes, Brad, welcome to the show, first and foremost. But secondly, that is fighting weight. It's not a 6.2%, it's a 3.6% session IPA. So you can go ahead and crack that open nice and early in the morning.
Thanks,
yeah.
Troy.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd even be, cracking an octopus this early in the morning. But Mr. Clifford, thanks for making the trek from Hamilton to join me here in the studio in glorious Etobicoke.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Beautiful place you got here, Mike. And
Mike Boone, the guy behind the mic that hosts us in South Etobicoke. And I noticed when I drove up, you brought the big van today, and that's what you drive all the time?
That's my only mode of transportation.
Now, how come you don't have any logos on it? Is that because you know what you want incognito?
Basically, yes.
Yeah, okay. So, Brad, while you're the guest, I have to start off by giving a big shout out to someone. Do you know who I'm going to give a shout out to? No?
I got a rough idea.
Rough idea. Okay. Well, I'm going to give a shout out to your father, Bark.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. What a beauty that man is. He is a beauty. And I spent a lot of time with him at the OCB conference this year. I always love talking to him. He is very excited that you were coming on, and I think he's really looking forward to tuning into this one. He's so proud of you. And
he will be listening.
Yeah, he's so proud of you and all that you've built, and I just wanted to give him a shout out. So, Bark, if you're listening, and I hope you are, you've done well with this fella. He's a great guy, a terrific brewer. He's hardworking, and he's someone full of great insight and industry knowledge. He's a pretty nice dude too, with a lovely laugh. I don't know if he got that from you, Bark, but I love it, and I hope you enjoy the show with your boy.
He's helped me out a lot.
Yeah, he is quite the dude, and he still carries his phone on his side pocket, right, or his belt.
Probably.
Yeah, I think I noticed it the other day. I was like, old school. Okay, so you got a beer. I got a beer. We've done the shout out to Bark. So let's get at it. You good?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm ready to go.
The very first question I have is this, Brad. I've been racking my brain trying to think of other breweries named after their owner. It's what it used to be like. That's what you did. Molson, Labatt, O'Keefe, Sleeman, Owens, Dawes, Taylor and Bates, on and on and on you go.
Exactly.
And then looking to today's breweries, I'm trying to think of some that are doing that and seeing if it's starting to come back around. We have Clifford Brewing, named after your last name. Yep. Gavin Anderson of Anderson Craft Ales. Gavin, you got to change that. You're brewing lagers now too, dude. Jordan Reinhardt of Reinhardt Brewing in Toronto.
Reinhardt, yeah.
Sean and Ed out of Dundas, Ontario. Kind of, yeah. McKinnon Bros.
Yep, McKinnon.
McLean's Ales in Ontario.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Charles. Yeah.
Out in BC, the ones I think of are Phillips and Hoyne, Matt Phillips and Sean Hoyne. Mm-hmm. Any new breweries that you can think of that went the same route that you did?
I know out in Prince Edward County, Gillingham Brewery.
Okay,
I haven't been there yet, but I met him and his wife. Super nice guy. Great beer.
And that's named after, that's their last name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the last name.
Why did you go with that? Why did you go with Clifford Brewing as your last name and the name of the brewery?
It just made sense at the time. Basically, couldn't come up with anything else that really had any other meaning, right? Like instead of coming up with some crazy, I don't know.
So it wasn't like
Blockhead Brewery or something in there. That really doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah.
I thought Clifford's got a nice ring to it. Probably back then, a few people said to me, "Oh, Clifford, that's a great name for a brewery." And
how many people have said you should do a Big Red Dog?
Far too many. Far too many.
I used to love those.
But my entire life, I've been getting those jokes. Yeah. So now I just roll with them.
I do like the nostalgia.
I am the Big Red Dog.
I do like the nostalgia of having a brewery named after the owner or the founder. I think it's not legacy, but it's enduring. It's a name that it will endure time.
Yeah,
it'll
exactly.
be around for a long line. And when you look back at the record books and 100 years, when I don't know if Clifford will still be going or if it's not, but people will be like, Clifford, it's named after this guy, Brad Clifford. You'll be in the history books of the brewing history.
Yeah.
So before starting Clifford, what were you doing that was not beer related? I know how you got your start, but we're going to get through, the home brewing and then every step of your career. But what were you doing before you got into the beer world?
Well, I don't want to put everyone to sleep, but I used to work in financial printing as a project coordinator.
Financial printing, so like just books? Or?
No, actually in the financial markets, prospectuses, mergers, acquisitions, annual reports.
No offense, I don't want to put everyone... do not look like someone that would be in a suit and tie.
No, I get that a lot too. I went to Ryerson for graphic communications and then just kind of, in a way, kind of fell into that industry. Fell into it. Basically looking for a job in the printing business. And I got a job actually right downtown. I worked at 20 Queen Street West, first for a Canadian banknote that had a financial division. That's actually the company that prints money. And I actually worked in that field for a better part of 20 years, actually, for a few different companies like Quebec Or, a lot of people have heard of.
Wow.
A company called Bound.
I think I know a little bit about you. I didn't know that.
Yeah, most people probably don't. Yeah. And most people don't know I did that while I was brewing for many, many years, too.
I think I knew you had something else, like not corporate job, but I knew once you got into the home brewing thing and moving into what is today Clifford. I remember there was other jobs that you were doing.
Essentially, it was a corporate job.
Yeah.
So I worked downtown in the office towers with a lot of law firms. And basically what I did was more sitting at a desk processing all the projects. It's hard for me still to explain what I did.
Do you have any images of you clean shaven? Like for those of you, you'll see the pictures, but Brad's got a very spectacular beard.
You have to go back probably to...
I want to see a picture of suit and tie and clean shaven Brad. That's I want that on a label.
Probably have to go back to about 2005, and then I just had the very neatly trimmed beard.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I do want to see that on a label. So if you haven't fallen asleep listening to the financial stuff, okay, we're gonna talk about beer. So how did that experience shape your approach to beer and business?
Yeah. Well, basically, I learned like dealing with people, like obviously dealing with lawyers and people, some pretty high up positions, and really just in that business, very fast paced, basically seeing projects through every stage of production, which is kind of very similar to in the beer industry.
Yep.
It's fast paced. There's a lot happening all at once.
Yep.
So in retrospect, it kind of did prepare me for like what I was going to do down the line.
The oh shit moments.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And talking my way out of things. Yeah.
So you said 2005 or so. That's when we'd have to go back and find a picture of you like that. But so 2009, let's go to that year. You're homebrewing, winning all sorts of awards.
That's about the time I started homebrewing, and I was living in a condo down on Richmond Street East, and I was just homebrewing in my condo, basically in the kitchen with 700 square foot condo.
Yeah. And was it full of
just on the stovetop? Yeah. Oh yeah, carboys everywhere, and I was obviously a bachelor then. So
why did you get into homebrewing? What was it about homebrewing that you wanted to get into?
Yeah, well, there's a bunch of different things. I mean, back then, going to bars like Say What, Volo, and as you know, because we were both there, the craft beer scene in Toronto was very small.
Yeah.
People that were interested in it all kind of knew each other. And obviously I'll have to talk about Michael Duggan, because I met him around that time, and he was a big inspiration, and the original Duggan's Brewery down on Victoria Street. Got to know him, did some work with him. Well, really, I was just the annoying homebrewer who was like, hey, try my beer. What do you think? He's like, yeah, it's fine. And then basically I bugged him enough. He's like, yeah, you can come in one day and like help me do a brew. And basically, just.
So that was at 75 Victoria. You were going in there all the time. Just
well, I actually lived. I lived a block from there, and I worked 2 blocks from there. So like Duggan's was right in between where I lived and worked. So I was actually thinking about it this morning. It's kind of funny because I would actually like go there in the morning, be brewing with Mike, and then I worked an afternoon shift at 3 at 20 Queen West. So I'd actually stop at 2:45, get changed, then go up to the office tower.
Smelling all good of wort and
then I'd get off work and I'd go back to the bar and drink with Mike till God knows.
So just for some context, Mike Duggan was one of the original co-founders of Mill Street. He was the original brewmaster.
Yes.
And then went on to create Duggan Brewery. And number 9 was the beer, and
that was a big beer
the rice lager that he did was a lot of people were always talking about that beer, but that was at 75 Victoria, which has been a number of breweries over the years. Denison started there, then I think it was Duggan's after that. Then Molson went in with 6 Pint Specialty, and then Creemore, and now it's under renovation. A new brewery's moving in there soon. So,
really?
A new brewery is going in. So, hopefully, the kiss of death on that is long gone, and this new brewery will be able to survive. So, you're doing all that. You're homebrewing. Your condo is full of your own beer. You're bugging Michael Duggan, and it leads into somewhat of a half profession, if you will, at Getwell. Is that?
Yeah, well, I guess, trying to remember back now. So I was a big part of the Canadian Amateur Brewers Association. And,
CABA, right?
CABA, yeah. CABA. And we used to have all our meetings at the Rhino.
Yep.
They had the Great Canadian Homebrew Competition. And that's actually back when I met a lot of people like Steve Rich, previously of Cowbell, was part of that. I think Jeff Minot. Some of the guys from Forked River. There was a whole bunch of us that were all just, homebrewers that wanted to, dreamt of one day maybe opening our own brewery.
And that was the time, right? Like people were opening all the time around that area.
I remember when the Duggans on Victoria closed, there was nothing downtown. Bellwoods hadn't opened yet. Indie Ale House hadn't happened yet. It was in planning. Jason was trying to get that going.
That took a long time too.
Yeah.
But yeah, there wasn't anything really in the core. There was the granite on up north, if you will, in Toronto. But other than that, there was nothing really.
Nothing in the core. Yeah. So at one of the CABA meetings, I met Jeff Barber, who is the owner of Sonic Boom Records, and he was interested in opening a bar that he wanted to have a nano brewery in, a small brewery. Mm-hmm. So at this time I was winning all these awards at CABA and.
Just a humble break.
Yeah, just well, I did win. Yeah, the best of show 2 years ago.
Yeah,
I just remember that. Yeah. So anyway, Jeff, basically we got talking and he's like, oh, would you have any interest in, basically doing kind of like what Volo was doing at the time with Volo's Nano Brewery. Yeah.
It was like a it wasn't even 3-hec, was it? It was.
Oh, no, because my system was 2-hec.
Yeah.
So basically, it was like 50 liters. Yeah. Something. Yeah.
It was like the Great Lakes homebrew kit back in the day.
So basically, it was a huge opportunity for me to basically, put together a small little nano brewery, which is every home brewer's dream is I'm going to step up from home brewing to nano brewing.
So walk me through how that worked, though. So the bar was Get Well.
Yeah.
And you started brewing there.
Yeah. So they didn't have a kitchen. Like when they bought the bar, it was an old Portuguese bar. And basically in the back, there was about the size of this room here, maybe like 10 by 10.
Yeah.
Basically, I got a 2-hec system that I kind of put together, and it was custom made. And fermenters, we actually ordered the fermenters through a homebrew supply company. Yeah. They were jacketed though.
Okay.
And a little 2-hec system, basically almost like in the tiny little cubby hole in the back of the bar, right? And it was kind of hidden back there. Not everyone knew it was there. And so basically it was a great opportunity for me, and I really, really appreciate it, what those guys did for me to kind of give me a start to make.
You really developed a name for yourself there. People were talking about the beers. I like, have you tried the beers from Get Well? And then it became, have you tried Brad's beers from Get Well?
Yeah.
So how did that transition happen from, hey, try the Get Well beers to Brad's beers? How did that come about?
I'm not sure exactly. I mean,
you're sitting at the end of the bar drinking and say, hey, I brewed this beer. Yeah.
I actually didn't hang out there very much. I was just there during like the weekdays brewing. But I get to know a lot of people coming in because it was actually at the time, it was like one of the main craft beer bars in the city, because the guys there were carrying a great selection of craft beer. And then we had 2 or 3 taps that were taps of beers I made. It was just a brew pub license where I would just brew a batch, say Porter, and then Pinball Wizard was born there. These were all homebrew batches I had, but then we're able to scale them up to basically I was making like
you brought your recipes to Get
Well. Exactly. Yeah. And it was all my equipment that I set up in there. Okay. Like we basically had an agreement where I made the beer there and kind of sold it to them.
So while you were doing this whole apprenticeship almost, if you will, you knew you wanted to start your own place eventually.
Down the road. Yeah. This was just like kind of it was a stepping stone, a great way to, make beer and say, hey, do people actually want to buy this beer? I was making beer people were paying for, right? Not just
and how cool
giving
was
it
that?
away. It was amazing. Yeah. It was really cool. Felt great. Yeah.
So you were doing that for a period of,
actually, I think it went in like 2012 to about 2 years roughly.
2014. Yeah. And that's when you started to really explore doing your own brands on a bigger scale, correct? Yeah. So walk me through the startup of Clifford. How did you vision what was to come? What did you want to do? And how did you do it?
Yeah, well, Clifford Brewing officially started in the very beginning of 2015 because it was late 14 that I made the decision to move to Hamilton. Me and my wife bought a house there, and we're like, all right, we're moving to Hamilton. There were aspirations and ideas then of I will eventually open a brewery here, and Hamilton seemed like the perfect place to do it. So that equipment actually from Get Well was going to stay there, but then it came with me, took it out, and I think now it's pizza or something back there. Yeah. I'm settled in Hamilton now. I bought that van that's outside there. And I got my manufacturer's license as a brewery. So Clifford Brewing was an official brewery now. And I started contract brewing. And of course, I was going to do the porter because that was the beer everyone liked the most.
That's popular. The one you're winning all the awards for.
Yeah, it's the one that won the awards.
We're going to get to more awards in a bit, but it was the one that was kind of the bread and butter for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it just seemed like, I like to joke like it wasn't really a very good, like there was no financial plan here for the brewery. Like I'm going to launch with a porter.
And if you say that to someone today, they'd be like, are you crazy? But so you got the manufacturer's license and you were contracting your brands out. Who was doing your brands then? Or who was contracting for you?
Oh, well, that's kind of a long story too.
Well, that's what we're here for.
But I jumped around.
Yeah.
I did the first batch within Asante back in the day.
Okay, yeah.
And then that came to an end and I was brewing at Grand River for a bit. I even brewed a couple batches at Duggan's place on Queen Street. And then fast forward, I finally landed at Cool.
Okay.
Where I had the volume to brew a batch at Cool. And then that's basically where I stayed for the next 2
And that's when you
3
started to get into the LCBO with
and that's when I got it LCBO listed, had a meeting with LCBO, convinced them to take it. And then I was doing bigger volumes.
Yeah. But you were also looking for a place to do your own thing. So so you're going around Hamilton. You wanted to find some place in Hamilton. So you secured a building in early 2017.
It was the very beginning of 2017, actually.
It was our 30th anniversary year, and that's always how I kind of remember that, because we share a mutual friend who helped find the building with you.
He's actually the landlord.
Or he's the landlord. Sorry, he's the landlord. But he I remember getting a phone call going like, "Hey, do you know this guy Brad? And do you know his dad?" And I was like, "I don't know his dad. I know him. Great guy. He's got this business idea. He's going to put a brewery in one of my buildings." And I was like, "Awesome. That's awesome." So that was early 2017. And you got the building and you were brewing in the same year, like by the end of the year?
Well, who you're referring to, that's the Vandermeer family.
Yeah.
And
Casey, shout out to Casey.
Yeah, shout out to Casey, great guy. Couldn't have a more terrific landlord. And basically...
He drinks Great Lakes too sometimes.
I'm sure. I was just going to rewind quickly, but... because finding a place in Hamilton, not easy for a brewery, not easy at all. And went to the economic development department, and they were like, well, you can maybe do this here, but there's one. Basically, they're like, there's not really a lot of options for you, but there's this one place this building that it's in the right area, it's zoned correctly, and then he gave me the email of Casey Vandermeer for 398 Nash Road North. And Casey was actually just managing the property then, but the family then bought the property right when we moved in, actually. Okay. So they became part of the landlord group for that building. So, just a little bit of
little backstory
there.
I have heard that starting a brewery or working with the municipality of Hamilton is not the easiest thing for craft breweries. I've heard this from
and I feel like we kind of got really lucky because we found that building. It had been sitting there for a bit, and as you know, it's a 10,000 square foot. It's a giant, big open building, and I was like, "This is perfect, right off the Red Hill Valley Parkway, right off the QEW." So we were like, and it was kind of a feeling, well, if we don't lease this and take this building, I don't know when another one's going to come up.
And someone else might scoop in.
Yeah, and I know a few other people had looked at our brewery as a potential brewery for themselves. But they wanted to be closer down to the downtown area.
So I was going to ask you about how did you choose that location, but you just kind of walked through it.
Yeah.
It's just the economic development
I had
office
one choice.
There you go.
So I took it.
How many buildings did you look at though before you got that one? Or was that like the one?
Pretty much the one.
Oh, wow.
There was one other building I looked at somewhere down around, it was like near the, what's it called? The cotton factory. But it had no parking. It wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
The area.
Well, you've done a great job with the actual space itself, but I want you to walk me through the brew house. So someone who's never been there before, which you should, but if you haven't, walk through the front door and tell me what you see when you walk into Clifford Brewing.
Yeah, well, you walk in the front door, and to your left, you see the big bar. I think we have it's like a 35-foot long bar. But over to the right is the brew house sitting right out there out front. It's a 35 hectoliter brew house. And then in the back, we've got 6 70 hectoliter tanks, a couple 35 hect tanks, some big bright tanks. When we first moved in, like we just had the brew house, and originally 4 fermenters. And there was this big, wide open, giant space. Like it was just so much space.
I think we came to visit shortly thereafter, and we remember going, "Oh, you got a lot of room to grow.
You got a lot of
this.
room here, yeah."
Yeah.
Because there was no canning line. There was, we didn't have cans in there. We didn't have, but it worked out really well because we were able to use all that space for taproom space. Yeah. So now we have a gigantic taproom, which is very advantageous.
And a very nice, clean, deep, chill walk-in fridge.
Oh yeah, the walk-in fridge.
All other breweries are very jealous of when they see that.
I have to give credit to Bark there.
There you go.
He
Bark.
wanted the big walk-in. Yeah, like we need a big walk-in.
And he called it and he nailed it.
Yeah, the walk-in was because now it's full all the time, and we're trying to like get more stuff in there.
So you just mentioned the tap room. I wanted to spend a little bit of time on the tap room because you've with intention, you've really built a thriving community hub.
Yeah.
In that location, you have a lot of music that happens there. You have, you're one of the breweries still throwing casks up on the bar, and you're doing a lot of things, food trucks and food programs and stuff. So walk me through your tap room. Was it a necessity that you're like, I have all this room, I'm going to fill it with bums and seats, or was it, I want bums and seats and I'm going to build around that?
Something just came to mind with the tap room. Like it definitely grew organically because, we got the equipment in. I started brewing there in November of 2017, but we hadn't really, the bar was there, but we hadn't really, like, the lighting was crap. We still just had this fluorescent lighting. We hadn't really done anything with the actual tap room. So we delayed a little bit till we could figure that out, like make some tables. There was no shelving behind the bar. Kind of what I'm getting at is like we hadn't completely run out of money, but there wasn't a lot of money left to put into the tap room. So it was just kind of like, well, what can we do kind of on the cheap? Like we bought wood at Home Depot, and my friend Glenn basically built those tables, sat them on barrels, or we just put out barrels. Those are tables. The early days of people coming in the tap room, this is when Jeremy Boyd was working with me as the first employee. Yeah. We only had like 20 seats, and we had to go out and rent seats once for an event because that's all we had was those 20 seats because I couldn't afford at the moment to buy more seats. That's the craft beer story, though. You were scraping by to eventually build what your vision was. And I've been there many times. You got to go there. It's a beautiful tap room, but it is a community hangout. You've organically you've done it, but there's a reason that people kept coming back. Would you say it was the beer, or it was the community, like the community vibes that you get from walking in? Oh, it's both. Definitely the beer, but definitely the community, and people come in for the first time, and we basically become friends with them. Got to be friends with all kinds of people in the neighborhood and community, and then we started doing like cask nights and different events, and we'd all pretty much see the same regulars coming back again and again. And then word of mouth brings more people in. Yeah, it brings more people in. And how many taps do you have right now? We have 12. Originally had 8 taps, but the first 6 months, I think I only had 4 of them full. Yeah. And I was actually on the little nano system, the one that came out of Get Well. I was brewing beers on that just to try to get something else on tap. Yeah. And now you're rocking 12, and they're full all the time. Yeah, they're full all the time. So now I basically got about 6 core brands, and then we do maybe 7 core brands. They're core until they're not. I don't know. But so even before Clifford started, that reputation that you had with a porter helped you open your doors. I would assume it helped you open your doors because you had an established brand that people knew about. It was in a can because you were contracting at Cool. And it helped shape some of the direction of the brewery. So you just mentioned 6 core brands.
So walk me through Porter. Tell me about Porter.
Well,
It's the
Porter
big one.
and Pinball Wizard, because that was the American Pale Ale. Actually, I also had in the LCBO.
Okay.
And it's kind of loosely based, on Sierra Nevada's Pale Ale, Citra, Cascade, Columbus.
Same with the old Canuck.
Actually,
Pale Ale was the same,
very close to Canuck. They're
Yeah.
both kind of come from that more old school craft beer.
Yeah.
So those two beers, and then actually the first beer I made in Hamilton on Nash Road was the East Hamilton Lager,
which you got a can of here,
here.
I really love. It's a very crushable. It's a very crushable lager.
It's a German Pils, basically, which is a beer I homebrewed for years. Used to brew that with Mike Duggan as the German Pilsner. I just love German Pilsners. So that was the first beer that we made on Nash Road in the brewery.
Yep.
And then did Dark Streets of London, the ESB. So I was just thinking this morning, like we didn't have an IPA actually on tap.
I still, what do you have an IPA right now?
Yeah.
You do have an IPA. You have two IPAs that I think was on tap.
Yeah, Artificial Paradise,
Okay,
which was made sometime in the first year or two. This is our official IPA.
Yeah.
And then we've also done Broke Down Palate, the hazy IPA.
Broke Down Palate's a good name for a beer. Yeah. Now, as a brewer's brewer, because that's how I described you, I feel you're a brewer's brewer.
Oh, thank you.
Are you more comfortable talking about your beers or your business?
Probably my beers.
Yeah. Because when you just picked up that can of Artificial Paradise, you looked at it like it was a child. It was like, you did. You looked at it like, look at this beer. It's so beautiful in my hands. And, but I've known you for a long, long time. And whenever you talk about a beer, your face lights up and you're so happy about it. And you talk with pride about, Chain Link, which is your Vienna lager.
Yeah.
And when the new cans came out a couple of years ago, the shrink cans, I think they are, right? Or the painted cans, like your shrink sleeve cans, and we were the sleeved, when we were there, you were showing me the can and how, this is like you're beaming this new beer, and then you try the liquid and you're like, oh, this is good. So I just wanted to point that out because I like seeing the smile.
Yeah.
But on the beers, you had a huge year in 2019. So you had a year and a half after opening the front doors to the public, you won something big in 2019. Did it change the brewery? Did it change you? Did it change your approach to brewing? It was the Canadian Brewery of the Year. You won that. And that's big. It's big.
Oh, yeah.
So tell me about that. How did it change you? Did it change you? Did it get you more acknowledgement from just not only the beer community, but like customers?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it changed me at all because, we'd won awards. Obviously, that's the big one, and it was incredible. Yeah, I was really, really happy to win it. And, it just kind of helped put the brewery on the map a little more for, I guess, other people in the Ontario craft beer scene who or all over Canada, who hadn't heard of us or seen us before.
But I think a lot of us in the industry were like, oh, the beers are technically sound.
Yeah. Because I brew beer to style, which is those beers tend to do a lot better in BJCP sanctioned competitions. So that year was just, a fantastic year and couldn't have been more happy. And as you recall, Bark was there with me. And we went up on stage and I said something like, I'm just a guy who homebrews on my stove.
Yeah. And did your dad cry that night?
I don't know.
But so
I might have. I don't know.
Yeah, did it change? But did it change the brewery though? Not you, but did it change the brewery? Did it change the direction?
It made everything worthwhile, I guess.
Yeah.
Just all the effort had put into it, and to go that far, really that quickly. Mm-hmm. And I know like the competitions are, in a way, feel like I got lucky in other ways, but you got to have really good beer to,
of course you
to
do.
win that award, right?
That's your humble brag right there again. It's like, well, got a little lucky, but the beer was really good. Your Clifford Porter, again, I'm coming back. This is the third time I've kind of mentioned it, but it is synonymous with you. When people think of Brad Clifford or they think of Clifford Brewing, the first beer that comes to a lot of people's minds in the industry, I'll say, is Clifford Porter. But I want to know the inspiration behind why did you start with a porter and not your East Hamilton lager, or why not start with Pinball Wizard? Why was it the porter that you were so attracted to? And when you open the doors, that this is kind of what I'm putting my Well, figuratively, like literally your name
well,
on
it. Well, there was no master plan. And honestly, that's why it's Clifford Porter, is just because, well, it's the one beer I make, porter. Yep. Clifford Porter. And because it was kind of the first one that people really took to and really liked. And they're like, oh, of all your beers, I love that porter. That porter is so great. And
why do you think that is? Why do you think they're so connected to it?
I mean, there wasn't many people making porters back then, and kind of still isn't. So, and it's just got that nice drinkability. You know, it's got all that, just the right notes of, you know, chocolate, you know, touch of roast. The hopping is a little higher than your typical English porter, but it is still very English.
Did you bring any
brown malts? Yeah, I do have one here, actually.
Can I open that?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Oh, it's nice and cold, too. Strong beer at 5.9.
And the reason, like, the can is just the logo, is because at the time, like, I didn't have any crazy name for it or any really crazy idea for it's like, just make it nice and classic, right? And the red is the color of the brewery, basically, the crimson.
It's like the old school Great Lakes lager, where we, for 5 or 6 years, we couldn't come up with a name or a look, so we just threw the logo
on the front.
Great Lakes Blonde.
Yeah.
And it was like, had no character or personality. But this is different because it's your name. It's your name, and then, you know, there's a hop on there or whatever.
And my friend I went to university with did the logo for me, and he did the original can.
Okay.
So he did the circle
with the ribbon through
the ribbon.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, the ribbon around it with the little write up on the back, and
it's a 6-time gold medal winner. Now, you don't say what the medals are, but I'm assuming it's Canadian Brewing Awards, Canada Beer Cup, Ontario Beer Awards. I think this is probably one of the most
Ontario Brewing Awards.
Yeah,
that was the first gold it won, was actually an Ontario Brewing Award in 2015, I think.
I think this is probably one of the most recognized porters in all of Ontario, for sure. I think I can say that with.
Yeah, it's been in the LCBO 10 years now, too.
Yeah.
Hard to believe, 10 years. So.
Okay, so that's enough of the Clifford Porter. We've talked about it a lot. But what I see on the back of the can is you're proudly brewed in East Hamilton. Why don't you say Hamilton? Why do you go with East Hamilton?
That was just kind of an idea when we, you know, located in East Hamilton on Nash Road. I'm like, well, we're the only brewery over on this side of town. And people in East Hamilton are very proud of East Hamilton. Yeah. It's got it's a bit different than the West Side. Yeah. You know, it's a little more grittier, very working class, very.
It seems like you've done an interview like this before, because you just led me into the question of, do you see your beers as a reflection of East Hamilton? Gritty, industrial, working class.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that's why then I kind of started to make the brand kind of lean into that more. Yeah.
And what's the feedback like of people coming into the brewery? Like, are they proud to say, like, hey, I'm in East Hamilton?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, big time. Yeah.
So that was
East Hamilton Lager is our biggest seller, I'd say, second to the porter.
So even though you're in like this finance job and you're a brewer, like, that's a good marketing angle that you came up with. That is a very good, because you're attaching yourself now to the community in which you're producing the beer, and your tap room is thriving, and people can have that emotional connection now.
Yeah.
This is our.
I will add. I mean, I didn't really have a finance job. I worked with people.
Sorry,
in that
you know
world,
what? Yeah. Sorry, you're printing money.
And actually, I grew up in Ingersoll, Ontario. It's where my family, my mom and dad still live, and my parents owned and ran a trailer park. I grew up.
Oh my God, I'd love to see Bark in his early days running a trailer park. Randy, get back here. Oh, that's great.
Many people did. So my family definitely has working class roots.
Yeah. Oh, he's a beauty. Yeah. I want to know what's been the biggest challenge of running a brewery in Ontario's craft scene over the last few years, because we know there's been a lot of challenges. You're on the smaller side, and theoretically,
we are. Sure.
You contract brew other beers now as well. But what's been one of the biggest challenges for someone like Clifford in the Ontario scene right now?
Oh, where to start? Every day is a new challenge. I mean, we've been pretty fortunate. We're doing all right because, again, a busy tap room, a community that supports it. If anything, our LCBO sales have actually grown a little bit over the last few years, and we got some new listings. Part of that's from vendors been representing us and helping us out.
Well, that's a good shout out to Mike Chalmers.
Yeah, Mike Chalmers, great
vendor.
guy. Because we're very small, so we don't have like a robust sales team.
Yep.
Don't even have a dedicated salesperson other than myself these days. So, but an LCBO is really challenging if you don't have people out there going into the stores.
It's just the representation that, hey, how you doing? Hey, how's the date codes? All that stuff. And yeah. So that's good. So vendors been doing that for a while.
And they've really helped us. I think we're one of their kind of prime breweries that they like working with. And then just the industry, it's slowed down a little for sure. Craft beer isn't quite it's not as cool and hip as it used to be. But I mean, I don't think I was ever that cool and hip anyways. So people are still drinking porter. They're still drinking ESB. Like I like to joke, I've got the old Englishman market wrapped up.
Well, right now, I think I brought you a Monty Mild if you want to have a mild later, but we have ESB over at the brewery right now too. So maybe we can compare notes when we go back to the brewery after. Yeah. There's taxation, there's the cost of everything is going up. What is it that you look forward to, though, as an owner moving forward? Like, what is it that, with all the crap that's happening with us right now, wholesale markup, distribution changes, federal labeling requirements, all this stuff?
Oh, I forgot about that.
What is it that you wake up to every day and look forward to?
I look forward to
a beer at the end of the day. Oh, there, I answered for you.
It's still a lot of fun. Basically, we have a great team. Everyone works really well together, and we're having a good time. We're making beer. We're doing something we love to do, and
even your ex-employees speak highly of the fun that you guys used to have, and just being like, do whatever it takes to get the job done. Jeremy Boyd, who works for us now, but he still speaks with reverence to his time.
Those early days were a lot of fun. And I mean, it still is. We all work in beer, and beer is just like, it's a fun industry to be in. For
no one's dying on the table.
Yeah, and I like to say it's just beer. Like people start freaking out over something like, oh my God, like someone's not going to get their case in time. I'm like, it's just beer.
Yeah.
It'll be okay.
We share the same mentality. It's like, oh, that keg didn't get there before 5 o'clock, but at 5:05 it might get there. So just it's going to be all right.
It'll be okay. Yeah. No one's going to die here.
One of the questions that I think we talked about this recently, but you get involved, and we're going to talk about that in a second, but you get involved a lot with a bunch of different things. Are there any oh crap moments that have happened to you over the years that you would say, hey, new breweries or younger breweries, this is something I'd watch for?
We've been pretty fortunate. There hasn't been too many, like nothing terrible or it's really affected the business. I've learned a lot, especially dealing with, your municipal planning department. So for our new breweries in planning or opening, I'd say, like basically going to your municipal planning department, making sure you've got all the I's dotted and T's crossed, and, just be careful. Maybe be careful how much information you provide too.
You were at the Pints and Politics session,
I was just thinking of that session with you. Yeah. And basically getting to know your municipal counselor.
It's astonishing how many breweries don't do that.
Yeah. And it makes a huge difference. In fact, kind of the big hurdles that we had, like the big one was getting our Tide House license because of without getting into all the boring stuff, but
bathrooms.
Bathrooms, but really the firewall separation between the tap room and the brewing area, like having
there isn't one.
There isn't one. I know most breweries in Ontario don't have one.
No, and even breweries way back before.
But some municipalities will make a really big deal out of it. Others don't care.
Well, Granite Brewery, for example, was huge back in the day. You had to have a wall separating the retail store from the bar. The brew house had to be at the back or separated from the restaurant.
Yeah.
Like I would love to meet the person who actually sat down and said, you know what, I'm going to put this in the bylaws.
I know. So when we actually opened the brewery in 2017, our capacity was 39 people.
What?
39.
How did they come up with that number?
Because that's what you're allowed if you have the mixed occupancies of brewing and the tap room. Yeah. They'll only allow 39 people in a 10,000 square foot building.
Was that a city thing or AGCO thing? Because the
AGCO doesn't care.
AGCO, you can get your whole premise license, your whole footprint license.
Yeah.
And so, and a lot of times the AGCO rubber stamps whatever the municipality says. Oh, okay, we're cool with this. They can,
So 39 people was the most they would allow. And it wasn't until we went to go get our tied house that they're like, oh, well, you're capped at 39. And we had put in more bathrooms over COVID. We had done a bunch of stuff. So this is where actually I got involved with LRI Fire Engineering to help us basically do a big report to tell them there was no risk, which anyone could tell you, to get our capacity up to 105 people.
And it worked.
It worked, yeah.
Because you went to a consulting firm, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I know like other breweries in Hamilton, there's a big one in particular that's had a lot of problems with mixed occupancies in tap rooms.
Yeah.
Collective Arts.
Yeah, Collective Arts, yeah.
And I've done everything I can to help them. We all help each other out in Hamilton. Like,
well, we're getting to Hamilton in a second. Yeah. You see, you're good leading in, but I want to know what's next for Clifford. Any new beers, collaborations, expansions? What are you working on right now?
Well, we just did a collaboration with Aqua Nova.
Okay, yeah, another Hamilton?
Yep. Yeah, it's the newest brewery in Hamilton, just opened in the last year. And Kevin and Steve are the owners. Steve used to work at Three Brewers downtown here when it first opened.
Oh, yeah?
He was the director of brewery operations. Great guy. So, yeah, we did this collab at their place, so we just started selling it.
Cahoots.
That's
a good name.
Yeah.
Good label, too.
The label, Darlene, who works as office manager, she's also an artist. She did this label for us.
Big Dar? Big Dar. My mom's name is Dar. We call her Big Dar. She's like 4'2". So Aqua Nova and Clifford on Cahoots. What else is new? What else is coming for the brewery?
Yeah, well...
Wholesale markup, you got to get that in.
Oh yeah. There's going to be a lot of stuff we got to be working on. Exactly, it's the new portal for LCBO, and but we're going to still be doing direct delivery like most small breweries are.
How does now that you just said that? How does it? If you're smaller, we're bigger, larger. Yeah. How do you manage all these changes internally? Is it you doing them?
Me kind of overseeing it, but I've got a small team of about there's about 6-7 of us basically. Yep. So like an office manager, a delivery driver who's actually now with TNG being gone, he's getting more involved with basically
everything,
packing all the orders, getting them ready for GLS, who's now distributing to LCBO for us.
GLS is distributing across the province for you?
Across the province, which has been working fairly well.
Okay.
And then we're using, I think it's Ontario Craft Distribution for some of our kegs around. Yep. That's been working okay. But yeah, it's a very, very small team of Brian managing the tap room, and then Bruce and Eric working in the brewery.
Give them a
very
shout
small,
out.
Dan in the tap room, Sarah. There's a really tight-knit group of basically 10 of us. Yeah.
So let's talk about Hamilton now. Yeah. Actually, no, you know what? I have one last question about Clifford, and then we'll move into Hamilton. Music has been a big part of the tap room. It's a big part of Clifford. Yeah. So how did that come to be? Was it deliberate, or was that, again, like you said, we had no budget, but it's something that grew organically? I'd
say it was deliberate. I knew that it would come slowly. Yeah. My brother's a musician who kind of helped set up the music program. Bryce is his name. Mm-hmm. I used to actually play in his band with him, our band. I played drums.
Okay.
I actually played drums in a lot of bands in Toronto.
Yeah. So music's in your blood.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a big music fan, music collector. So it was definitely something that basically having a space where other local musicians, artists could play, which is really lacking now. There's not many bars, especially for original music.
Can't afford it anymore, but
yeah, for original music. So So basically there's just so many friends that are musicians and in the industry who are basically like, oh, can I play at your place? So first we built a stage, and then someone lent some sound equipment, and then my brother did soundproofing like along the entire ceiling of the brewery, which made a huge difference. And so it kind of happened over the course of a year. I think it was 2019. We started like doing more and more music near the end of 19.
Is it?
And then of course 2020 we had to stop for a while.
Is it every weekend, or is it like
almost every weekend? We do private bookings in the tap room too. For like, we just had a wedding on Halloween night. There was a Halloween wedding there.
Nice.
Private bookings. For
I've been to
anniversaries.
a private booking.
Oh yeah,
Clifford.
yeah. In fact, the Vanderbarrels were one of the very first parties we had at the brewery.
A country hoedown.
It was Jackie's hoedown.
Yeah, it was a big birthday party.
And we had just opened. Yeah,
and that was a memorable evening.
Yeah.
So the Hamilton, you mentioned you all worked together. The scene exploded over the last number of years. When you moved in, you said the first in East Hamilton, but there wasn't that many in Hamilton when you moved in,
so when I moved to Hamilton, Collective Arts opened in 2015. Just the year I moved there. They were brand new. Of course, that was the Collective Arts Nickelbrook.
Yeah, which
thing.
That's a whole other discussion.
We'll talk about that. I know nothing about
it.
And Sean and Ed had just opened. And then, there was a year or two where you heard rumblings of other people were looking and trying to do things. And some of those people were like Joe and Lindsay of Grain and Grit.
Okay, yep.
And Rom and Brent Fairweather, who opened right around the same time we did. And Tage and Spinney, Merritt. So we all opened in the course of like a year and a half. I think like we were one of the last ones, but we were all just like, we're 6 months after Fairweather opening. Yeah.
6 months after.
Think 6 months.
But you mentioned you guys all help each other out. What's
like when I first went down to Fairweather, I think I reached out to Rom and he was like, why don't you swing by? I swung by and they were like, like digging up drains and stuff and just working in there and, just went in, started shooting the shit. And next thing you know, it was like, how did you guys get your building permit? And you're like, oh, well, you got to do this. You got to do this. Right. And then,
so you're all sharing.
Exactly. Just,
and
they were a huge help. With things like, because I had never applied for a building permit. Right. Like, I don't know. I leased this building. Yeah. And we bought a brew house. I'm like, I have to get what? A permit? How's that work?
I'm just going to put it in a bag for forgiveness later. What's been the best thing, like from a customer's perspective about Hamilton? Like a customer that's looking at like Hamilton, I'm going to go visit Hamilton breweries. Is it just you guys are all doing different things, or? Yeah, well,
we are all kind of doing different things. Yeah, like Merritt's kind of more experimental beers. Fairweather, I guess they're kind of more IPA heavy, definitely.
Yeah.
And then us kind of more traditional, but doing the IPAs as well. And
then now Aqua Nova's there. You have Collective. You have
so it's quite a mix of different sizes. Like we're kind of more the mid-sized brewery.
Yeah.
Maybe we're actually one of the bigger ones, but Fairweather just put in a 30 hex system.
Yeah.
So
I didn't get to go over and see it, but that came from BC. It came from BC. So we're getting into the home stretch here. I want to talk a little bit, just a couple questions on Ontario Craft Brewers, the conference, the board. It's changed dramatically, the landscape. We kind of talked about that, but you're an owner that gets involved to help navigate that changing landscape for all other breweries. So why do you put in the extra time instead of just focusing on your brewery? Why do you put in the extra time to help with the OCB conference, board of directors?
Yeah, like I can see all the good that it's doing, basically. And when I joined the OCB as a board member, even I didn't really have any idea how much goes on behind the scenes, like how hard Scott Simmons works to really, try to move mountains behind the scenes, right? And they move very, very slowly at a glacier's pace, but they have been moving and things are happening. And it's looking pretty good.
But why do you do it?
Why do I do it? I don't even know how I do it. sometimes I don't know.
For the betterment of the industry, for just you want to be involved. I don't want to answer for you, but
yeah.
So what are you getting out of it? You're getting like you see what's happening behind the scenes, but what are you getting out of it?
Well, I guess the satisfaction that, I played a small part or got to help in, changing some of the big changes that are happening in, in the craft beer industry right now.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're going to change. I guess the big thing is they're going to change on you, whether you like it or not. So you might as well have a seat at the table and try to affect that change in some way. Yeah. So that would be why I would do it.
Nice. And the OCB conference, we've been working together on the OCB conference for
I guess 3 years now.
No, it's been more than that. You've been part of the technical, is it not?
I think it was the last time we were in Niagara. That's the year it was just you and me.
Okay, basically. So then why did you get involved at the conference?
I was asked to, and I said, all right, what's involved?
But you lead the technical committee, if you will, on bringing speakers to the conference. So what happened this year? Who'd you bring in? And
well, a lot of times it's a lot of the same. Like Lallemand always wants to do a topic on yeast or Hops Connect, so just kind of work with them on their presentation, what they want to talk about, who the panelists could be. I know this year Jeff did one on the Brewing Hazy IPA.
Jeff Tommy from Town Brewery. Yep.
Jeff does a ton on the committee, way more than I do. So. And
he was another one where I was just like, Jeff, man, you got so much energy. Can you just do this? Like, I've done it for 8 years or whatever, and he's been amazing. Yeah, he has been amazing.
Yeah, a great pick.
We could keep going on and on and on and on and on and on, Brad, about everything. We could talk about more Clifford beers. We could talk about the Hamilton scene. We could talk about your former music somewhat semi-career. We could talk about Bark all day, but I got to keep this short because as Calvin and Hobbes once said, I love Calvin and Hobbes, the days are just packed, and it's I got to get back to the brew. But we're going to hear a word from our friend Mr. Octo, and then we're going to come back with some rapid fire questions.
Cool.
You ready for that?
I'm ready.
Hang tight. We'll be right back with the Brad Clifford.
Hey peoples, Octo here. I like a good punch-up from time to time, but after too many donuts lately, I gotta get down to my proper poundage. So my sparring partners at GLB brewed a beer just for me, Fighting Weight Session IPA. Big flavor, but it's 3.6% ABV and only 100 calories. It's the perfect beer between training sessions, then get back to some truculent head busting. Fighting Weight Session IPA from GLB, now at the LCBO and select beer stores across Ontario. Hey, losing a few never tasted so good.
Okay, we're back with Brad. Honestly, we, like I said just before the break there, we could keep going on and on. So we're going to have you back one day to talk more about this. But some rapid fire questions now. Let's do this quick. Let's see how I mess up today. I'm going to try not to. Here we go. What beer have you been enjoying recently that's not a Clifford and not a Great Lakes?
Oh, damn. I don't know. I'll be honest. I mainly just drink mine.
Okay, fine. I was gonna lead you into maybe saying Town from your cask.
Oh yeah, I loved that Town cask. Yeah. What was it?
It was an IPA, wasn't it?
That red is a red ale.
Oh,
it was really nice.
Oh, like you, I just drank Canuck cask all day, all night there.
I mean, when people come by the brewery and they drop off samples, so it's nice to try some other things. But
you mentioned going to Duggan's and dropping off homebrew back in the day. We still get people that come into Great Lakes and they're like, they've never met Mike Lackey, but they'll be like, hey, can you give these to Mike Lackey to try? Yeah. I just want feedback. And Mike's like, okay. Name one brewery that's consistently impressed you.
Well, Great Lakes for sure.
Okay. Name the most underrated Ontario brewery you can think of.
Oh, man, that's a tough one. I'm sure there's a lot of them out there. I was thinking earlier, it's kind of a shame. I know McLean's brewery still contract brewing, but when Charles had Charles McLean at his brewery, I love his brewery, love his beers and everything they were doing.
F&M
up in
back
Hanover.
in the day, yeah.
Oh yeah,
and then Charles McLean, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Amazing guy.
Name a person or brewery in the industry that has or continues to inspire you.
Person in the industry. Well,
that has or continues to.
that would be Scott Simmons, I'd say, from the OCB board, because the guy works so hard on behalf of everyone, and he really doesn't get the appreciation that he should get from all the small breweries that are not OCB members. But when they get that big tax cut,
guess who did the work?
Yeah,
very good. I agree with you on that. Best time and place for a beer.
Oh, pretty much any time, afternoon. Usually about 4 or 5 o'clock in the brewery. That's when
the first one hits.
The first beer of the day. Yes.
Really, the first beer of the day for you? Okay. If you could,
not including tank samples.
If you could only drink one beer for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, I don't know. I'd get sick of it no matter what it was, but maybe Pinball Wizard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I drink Pinball a lot and our Czech Lager a lot.
Best place to grab a beer in Hamilton.
Ooh, in Hamilton. Capitol Bar is a great spot. I really like. My friend Derek runs that.
I thought you were going to say Clifford. Best brewery you've ever toured in your life.
Yeah, I'm not really too sure about that. I went to West Flateren in Belgium once.
Okay,
that
well,
was pretty
we'll put
cool.
that.
Yeah, you don't get to see anything. You just sit there outside and drink their beer.
West Flateren?
Yeah,
nice.
West Flateren.
West Flateren,
yeah.
If you could brew,
it's really good.
If you could brew with any brewer in the world, who would it be, and what would you make together?
Oh God, I don't know.
We've never done a collab, have we?
No, we never have.
We have never done a collab.
It would be brewing with Mike Lackey.
Yeah.
It's a dream.
So it's funny because I told them you were coming over to the brewery today, and they were all excited. Oh yeah, okay, Brad, because I love talking to you. Yeah. Brewer. Brewers love talking to other brewers that are just focused on the beer, not anything else. If you weren't in the beer or hospitality industry, what would you be doing? Would you be printing money now? Would you be clean shaven?
I wish I could print money. I'd probably be. We actually joked. We were joking at the brewery the other day about if I sold the brewery, like what would I do? And then they said maybe open a pinball arcade.
Are you selling the brewery?
No, hell no. No.
If you could have a beer with just one person in the whole world, dead or alive, famous or not, who would you choose?
Oh, that's really a tough one too. I don't know.
Bark.
He's alive. We have beers all the time.
Famous or not, dead or alive, who would you choose?
You know who was kind of an inspiration in a funny way? Shane McGowan from the Pogues.
Okay, yeah.
And we make a beer, The Dark Streets of London. Yeah. So having a Dark Streets of London with him would be cool.
There you go. That's a good answer. Yeah. That's a good answer. And last one, Brad, best hangover cure.
Oh, I don't know. Gatorade, water.
Okay.
More beer.
I
try not to get hangovers anymore.
I know it gets tougher and tougher. Thanks so much for this chat, Brad. It's been a long time coming to get you on the show. And I always appreciate our talks. Give Bark a big hug for me. Rub that little bald spot for him, and keep rocking those amazing Clifford beers over there in East Hamilton. Not just Hamilton, but East Hamilton.
Thank you so much. It was fun.
Oh, this was really fun. And that's it. That's all, folks. Episode 48 with the Brad Clifford, or as I've learned today, RAD Brad of Clifford Brewing has moved from the mash tun to the fermenters. Today's episode was fueled by cans of Fighting Weight Session IPA, Clifford Porter, and what else? Monty Mild. But Fighting Weight Session IPA, you can now find cans of this super delicious low-cal, low ABV beer all across Ontario at your local LCBO stores and select beer store locations. Cans are also available at both GLB retail locations, and you can find it online at greatlakesbeershop.ca for free local home delivery. And while I'm on octopus, the New England octopus, the hazy octopus, is now available across Ontario at LCBOs as of this week. And you can find it at the Great Lakes Brewery as well, too. You can visit the brewery at 30 Queen Elizabeth Boulevard in Etobicoke, or grab some delicious eats and fresh pours at our brew pub at 11 Lower Jarvis Street in Toronto. If you enjoyed this conversation or any other episodes, please leave a review or a comment wherever you get your podcast. And if you have any content you'd love to hear us discuss, drop us a line at podcast@greatlakesbeer.com. Until next time, please remember to keep tipping your glass of fresh GLB in the right direction. Supporting local never tasted so good.